I cut myself new bangs. Was it a good idea? Sometimes. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sophia, and this is Too Bookish. That's the channel name. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. I just woke up about an hour ago. It's 2:43 in the afternoon. But besides that, today I'm going to be reading this book called The Mutations by Jorge Comensal. And I'm excited to read it. It's a short read. It's about 180-ish pages. And I'm excited for it because I really do want to start getting into the habit of reading more consistently. My last semester was in college. That was my first semester in college this fall. And now that we're in 2026 and we're going into the new semester, I'm hoping that I'll have more time to read. Just because I know that I was scrolling on my phone and doing a bunch of stuff like that to avoid and kind of procrastinate doing any of my work during the last quarter, and it messed with my grades. So instead of doing that, I want to be able to actually just do my work when it's due and be able to read more as well, because then it'll keep me off my phone and keep me from continuing to procrastinate. So our main character is Ramon Martinez, and he's an atheist, a successful lawyer, and a conventional family man. But this all changes when cancer of the tongue deprives him of speech, which is just how he has his livelihood, as a lawyer. The Mutations is a comedy tracing the metastasis of Ramon's cancer through his body and in the lives of his family members, colleagues, and doctors, dissecting the experience of illness and mapping the relationships both strengthened and frayed by its wake. So and then we have perspectives from Mateo and Paulina, his teenage children who are struggling with their own temptations. And then we have Ramon's oncologist who's haunted by the memory of a young patient he was unable to save. And then there's Elodia, who's Ramon's maid, who brings him a parrot, a foul-mouthed parrot, as a birthday gift. This lewd bird becomes Ramon's companion, confidant, and unlikely double. A rough-hewn poetry of regret, rage, and finally resignation, The Mutations offers a profound but funny cross-section of modern Mexican life, as well as a bold treatment of an unspeakable yet universal reality. This sounds really good. I kind of like when we get multiple perspectives of characters, and I liked that it's a little bit centered around this parrot that Ramon has been gifted by his maid, and it's a comedy apparently, so it's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, and it looks like a short, fun, maybe easy, but also very thought-provoking read, Anyway, I'm gonna go eat some food with my mom and read this while we're on the way there and on the way back and everything. And I'll let you guys know how it goes. Okay, so it's, I think, almost 11 o'clock now. I'm at page 38 of the book so far, which is not as far as I wanted to be. I wanted to at least be at, page 50 or, 75 or something when I finish up tonight. But there are 184 words. But there are 184 pages, I just checked, in this book. So I'm just going to continue reading for today. If I don't end up finishing it today, I'll finish it up tomorrow. Real quick, little tiny haul from Barnes & Noble, and we got this book for $5. See You Yesterday, and I already have the book today, tonight, tomorrow. It's on my shelf at my dorm, and I really wanted to read this because it's a time loop thing, and I love time loop movies and books and fiction, so I'm super interested to read this, and it looks really good so far. It's also about this girl's first semester in college, and I just went through my first semester, so I think it's going to be super relatable and really interesting and really cute and romantic. Other things we got, because I'm still a child, are this stress-free color book. That's adults can do that too, but the thing that I got that was childish were these 126 beeswax crayons. Because I felt like it, and because my mom was like, look what I found, and I was like, Mom, I need them. And I don't need them. I definitely don't need them, but they're so cool. And they have a little case thing. Now look at this. Oh my god, let me show you. So it opens in the bottom, right? So I could turn it over, and it opens at the bottom. You open this thing, and then you pull this out, I think. Oh my god, you pull it out in a circle. That's crazy. And it comes with a sharpener. Oh my god. Like in a full circle. That's crazy. And to put it back in, it's probably like impossible, right? Oh my god. I'm just gonna shove it back in there. And then click it closed. Boom. Boom. It just looks super cool. Like I just needed it, you know? And I have other crayons, but they're already starting to run low. So I wanted some and I'm gonna use them up in this stress-free color book. Anyway, I'm gonna continue reading the Mutations and see where I go. So far, it's really fun. I actually really like it. We're just being shown perspectives from all sorts of characters. Like we've gotten a perspective of this lady who also had cancer, who was like a psychologist, I think. Her name was like Teresa. Her name was Teresa because it's in Mexico, so I'm gonna say it with an accent, okay? Excuse my Mexican self, okay? We have one chapter that's talking about Eduardo, who's a patient of hers and who also has to deal with like the things that his cancer brought him, you know, like and it's just super interesting. Like it's showing us perspectives from all characters that are like connected to each other by this like string of dealing with cancer, as well as like dealing with having things that arise in their lives because of cancer that they have or cancer that people in their lives have. You know, it's talking about the maid. It's talking about how the main character Ramon and his wife Carmela met, and it's just really beautiful. It's actually really gorgeous so far. I'm loving the writing. It's comedic while also really heartfelt, and I don't know. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Haven't met the parrot yet, but I'm waiting for it. Okay, I'll catch you guys up when I'm more through this. Why would you end it that way? I mean, I understand, but also I don't understand. Y'all, the book is done. I finished it today at work. What you just saw was my reaction to finishing it. Basically, this book is about it's about like 3, I think, principal characters, and then all the characters that like also have points of view when they have their own like respective chapters. So first you have Ramon, and all of the characters, he's technically our main character because all of the characters in the book know Ramon or like connected to him in a certain way. And Ramon has cancer in his tongue, right? And he gets it taken out, and he's basically just like his thought processes and like what he decides to do after he gets his tongue removed, and like how he can't really like go back to work or anything, like how it just like really sucks because like he can't do anything about it. But they end up being in some financial disparity, you know, having to deal with that. And then you do have his doctor, who his oncologist, who is oh, it's not mentioned here. I think it's like Dr. Aldama. Yeah, Dr. Aldama, who's his oncologist, who is like talking about his own like disparities. He's very scientific about all of his stuff, but he gets his certain chapters. And then you have Teresa, who is a psychoanalyst. She's not mentioned in the synopsis that I read, but she is she's like the third, I guess like POV that we get really off. This is all really good. I want to say not my favorite book ever, but I still thought it was really intriguing to read. I don't know, it's very much about dealing with grief and surrounded like by cancer, really. It's surrounded by all these people who deal with cancer with other relatives or like as like medical professionals. And like you have Dr. Aldama, who is who's the oncologist, and all of his chapters are incredibly scientific. He sees the world in a way that's really cynical, and then you have Teresa's chapters, which are a little bit more like, I would say the writing style definitely makes it so that you know which characters are thinking and talking and like which story like you're kind of going through, you know? And it hops you, like every chapter, it hops from like one character to the next, to the next, to the next, and it just like, and even within chapters you get different POVs of people and like different like thought processes of different characters. Like, you have a lot of things for Elodia, you have some things for his wife Carmela, you have some things from Paulina, who's his daughter. Like, you get a lot of them for like all of the different characters. So Dr. Aldama's, where he's cold and calculated, she's a little bit warmer and more like, she's still pretty scientific because she's like, but she's very psychoanalytic about it. Like, she mentions a lot of things about the psyche and like how these things are affecting one of her patients, Eduardo, and it's very intriguing. And then you have Ramon, who's kind of like starting to lose hope in his life and has like his own really like machismo way of thinking in a way. I have nothing to really say, like, to analyze about this book, because I have to like, I'm not really like an analyzing out loud kind of person. All I know is that I fell in love with this story and I thought it was super interesting. And the reason why the ending was so jarring to me because it was like a really abrupt end, I feel like. But I feel like that with a lot of books, you know, like where I get to the ending and I'm like, what just happened? Like, where's the rest of the book? So, The Mutations overall is a really wonderful novel. It's very tragic. It's honest in a way. Like, it feels like there's like a certain honesty in it that you don't get with a lot of other books. It's not trying to like make everything romantic or like beautiful in the story, or like this is the meaning of life or whatever. Like, it's just showing us what the characters are thinking, you know? Like, even as much as you try to avoid the bad things in life, like those things will end up coming to you anyway, and it's really just trying to get over those mountains. And a lot of this is like people who cannot get over those mountains or get over those really big things in their lives because it's mostly like cancer for them. This cancer was so debilitating and it was such a huge part of their lives that they can't get over that kind of thing. And it's kind of showing us ways that people cope with having these things, and also like it's not really like showing us the exact like layout of how to get over something, but it's showing us how people cope with it and how people continue to live and go on with it. Super intriguing novel. I thought it was great. And now I have moved on to reading a happier book, I think, called See You Yesterday, which I showed you guys earlier that I got at Barnes & Noble. I'm already started reading it. It looks pretty good so far. I've already guessed a ton of the things in it because I'm very smart and it's not hard to read into that at all. But I'm excited to continue reading it tonight or tomorrow, whatever. Anyway, that's all for The Mutations. Yeah, that's all for this one. Thanks. Hello, welcome to me filming on my bed, part 2, I guess. Maybe this is a trend. I finished like Water for Chocolate. It was insanely good. I rated it, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars. Really wonderful book. Like, it showed me things about the Mexican Revolution that I hadn't really known because I haven't really done research on that. It's part of my culture, and also the recipes in it are really cool, and the writing style itself just really pulls you in and makes you want to like root for certain characters and hate other ones. And it's just like the classic thing of like there's the evil mother, and then there's like the daughter or like whoever who is just being constantly berated by her, you know, like that kind of story, like how you would see in a telenovela, really, but in a way that was so beautifully written. It legit was like perfect. It was just a really good read. It was super fun to read, and it also has like a lot of like fantasy elements almost. Like, it has just like random magical things that happen, you know, and all of it. I think it has a really nice ending too. I love it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's beautiful, and I think everyone should read it. If I ever read this again, it might be the Spanish version just to see how it is originally. What was I gonna say? Seguirás pensando. Anyway, it's so lovely. It's just like super easy going. It's a super easy read. Like, there's other books where like you have to like kind of struggle and like go through in order to read it, but this one, like, no, it's like super fun and super easy to read, and it really just flows. The narrative really flows. What's really fun about it too is that the chapters like are months. So like you have January, February, and then it ends with like November, December. You know, like it goes in the order of a year, and it doesn't go in just like one year chronologically, but like years like continuously, you know, depending on the month and like the day. And it's so lovely. I think it's a really cool concept, and I think it's amazing, and I think it's a twist on like a classic story of like the youngest daughter has to stay and like take care of her mother for the rest of her days. Yeah, that's all for this book today. I'm probably gonna get on to reading more of See You Yesterday and Percy Jackson tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned. Wednesday. 5. Hello, it's Saturday. We're officially done with the challenge. We were officially done yesterday, but I didn't read yesterday, which was fine because Thursday I spent the entirety of my shift finishing this, which was super fun. So now I'm gonna talk a bit about See You Yesterday. Hey guys, editing me here. I'm at work, so I have to be quiet. But I just realized I never talked about the synopsis for See You Yesterday, and I never gave my review of it, so I'm just gonna do that now. Thanks for being patient with me. Okay. So See You Yesterday was basically about this girl named Barrett Bloom, and she had her first day at college at I think it was UW, University of Washington. And she was hoping that college would be a fresh start after a really horrific time in high school. And when school begins on September 21st, everything goes wrong that day. She sets fire to a Greek building. She gets shown up in her physics class. She botches her interview because she's a journalist and she's interviewing for the paper, and she botches her interview. And then the next morning she wakes up and it's the 21st again. And she's like, what the freaking flip? Like, what's going on? It's just September 21st over and over again, and she realizes this guy Miles is also stuck in the time loop with her. So it's basically just this beautiful quantum physics-y romance that is actually so sweet and really does have all the feel-good moments you would want in a time loop kind of story. It's like the same kind of who cares anymore kind of vibe as Palm Springs does, which is a movie that also has a time loop in it. I really liked the book. I'm thinking back, this is like a month after I recorded, by the way. I haven't gotten the video out. It's like end of January now when I recorded this at the beginning of January, but I still remember the book, and it was a really fun experience to read, and it's good. I recommend it. I don't really have any specific critiques about the book itself. Like usually like you'll read a romance book and be like, there's this thing, or like they're not really like fully fleshed out, but I do think that the characters are like well-rounded and they do feel realistic in most ways. I will say that the main character is kind of sarcastic, almost in a way that makes her too sarcastic, like in a way where I would be annoyed by her. But other than that, good book. Hey guys, editing me part 2. I want to take back my critique of Barrett Bloom as a character. I'm gonna make fun of her name because I don't like Bloom as a last name. It ends with us kind of just ruined that for me. But I think that the reason she's so sarcastic is because she is a character that gets defensive over stuff because of what she's been through. She, I think, is allowed to have that sarcastic, really, I don't know, she really works with irony a lot as a character, like in her dialogue, and she's afraid of being vulnerable with anyone, and you can kind of sense that based on the stuff that she went through and through the way that she talks to people when she's closer to them as well. You can kind of sense it. So it's not that she's annoying, it's that she's sarcastic in a way that is trying to be defensive because she doesn't want to get herself hurt again. I liked it. I liked the pacing. I liked how it was like if you were stuck in a time loop, you would also be looking at quantum physics to try and figure out how to get the hell out of it. And it was more science-y than like trying to find the meaning of life or whatever. Like it was more about trying to get out of it and somehow having this connection with this person out of billions of people that this could have happened to, it happened to you too. And I think it was lovely. It was a lovely book. That's all I have to say. Back to the original video. Thank you. So in total, I read about 834 pages. Actually, that's a lie, because I started like Water for Chocolate in like November or something, or maybe earlier. I started it like at the start of the first semester. So I read like half of this or so in that time. So I'm gonna say I read about 700-ish pages this week, which I'm very proud of. I think I did good, because compared to like other weeks where I've read 0 pages or like 2 pages because I just can't get into it, I did read a lot this week, and I had a lot of spare time on my hands, and I think it showed me that when I do have spare time and I don't have to be like studying and doing other work, that I can be reading. One final thing before we end, I'm just going to say the ratings and a couple of things that I put on my Fable. If you want to check out my Fable, I will put my username right here so you can go and follow me, as well as my Goodreads, because I use both occasionally. So for See You Yesterday, I gave it a 3.75, I believe, and the same thing for like Water for Chocolate, because neither of them were like super life-changing. I think that both of them were really entertaining and super fun to read. I think that like Water for Chocolate definitely is more memorable, and just because it's like a story that I can relate to culturally. This one I gave a 3-star just because it kind of, like, even thinking back on it now, it's like not as amazing as it was when I just had finished reading it. So this book is alright. I think it's good for a debut novel, but not life-changing or the most revolutionary writing I've ever seen. So overall, successful week. I enjoyed reading all of them, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!